So I'm talking to Sean McLaughlin. He is the CEO and founder of a company called Emporia. They make a range of home energy products to help homeowners save money on their electricity bill. And in particular, we're talking about the Vue Energy Monitor, their Generation 2 version, which I received and I got installed in my house. As much as I am a DIYer, I thought it'd be a good idea to get a professional electrician to come in to install this into my breaker panel. And that's where we started our discussion. When the electrician came in and installed it, I noticed that he's not actually taking any wires off. He's putting this kind of module on top of the wire. And for the life of me, I can't figure out how it's working and how it's measuring the electricity coming out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. What you're talking about is our current transformers, right? And so when you buy one of our systems, you get, whether it's a two-phase home or three-phase home, you'll get two or three of those 200 amp current temp sensor, and they simply clip around the main power feeds that are coming from your utility meter into your electric block, and it's measuring the current that is going through those, right? And then we send that up through your home area network to our cloud, where we can then calculate your energy consumption and send that back. When he plugs in the power to power the unit into the breakers, that's grabbing the voltage, right? And so through the current measurements, we have amperage. Through the voltage measurements, we get voltage. Voltage times amps equals power. And that's how we measure the power. And we send that, we actually measure the data about 3,000 times a second. We average that over 1 second data and send that 1 second data up through your home area network to our cloud.
So when we're looking at it at the app, and I noticed that in the app, it shows you seconds, minutes, hours. So you can kind of see it in virtually real time, the kind of energy that your home is using at any point in time. And then you can track that over the course of days, weeks, months, and years.
Exactly right. And then with the 50 amp current sensors, they do the same thing as the 200 amp, but they go around the pole that is coming out of your individual breakers, right? That's going to your kitchen or your garage or your air conditioner or your dryer. And so those 50 amp CTs, we can measure at the individual circuit level exactly how much energy you're using. So not only are you getting a real-time view of your whole home or building, but you can get the individual circuit level and really get to understand how much you're spending on air conditioning, how much you're spending on that water feature in your front yard. And if you go to our website, you'll see a lot of testimonials where people are like, wow, this thing paid for itself right away, because when I plugged in those 50 amp CTs, I realized there was some load in maybe a storage room that I couldn't figure out. And I went in there and some kind of utility was on that was using energy and didn't even know it. And it wasn't necessary to run the house. It just unplugged it and save themselves. It's not, $5, $10, $15 a month, but when our unit is only $150, $160, it can pay off pretty quickly.
So let's talk about some of the other products that you have, because you're not just creating it at the Vue 2. You have an entire suite of home energy monitoring systems, especially as we move towards electric vehicles.
Yeah, Andy, we like to say that we're revolutionizing home energy. And it did start with our home energy management system. The second product we brought out was the smart plugs. And then we followed that up with a level 2 48 amp electric vehicle charger. And so if you look at it on Amazon, it's one of the top selling units. It's got the high end specs versus the competition, and it's $399, so a fraction of the price. We also have a home battery system, which is kind of a version of a Tesla Powerwall. This is a stationary battery system that you can put into the home. It'll take full advantage, again, of solar or on-site production by storing that when you're not using it. You can use it at night when the sun goes down. And it'll also do emergency backup. So it'll do grid isolation. If the grid goes down, you can run your battery and still have power in your home, even when the power's out in the neighborhood. And now we're spending a lot of time and effort on what we believe will be our flagship product, which is our bi-directional electric vehicle charger. So this is the idea that you'll be able to run your home or building off of your electric car when it's in your garage or your parking lot. I mean, look at the size of these batteries, Andy. You're going to be able to run your car for anywhere from 3, 5, even 7 days off of your car battery. You'll be able to run your house off of that. Yeah.
Explain to me this bi-directional more. Are you using your car battery to power your home? Is that what you're saying?
Right. And so right now, it's unidirectional, right? You plug your car into your charger, it takes power from your home or the grid and puts it into your car. And we're going to launch our bi-directional charger in the first half of next year. We've been hard at work at it, going through certifications and build and set up manufacturing. but you'll be able to pull power the other direction from your car battery and run your house or building, or even send the power back to the grid, right? And so it'll be bi-directional. When energy prices are cheap, we'll fill your car up. When energy prices are really expensive, we'll pull it out of your car and run your house, so you're not having to pay for that expensive energy. So go back to that time use pricing, 3 or 4 times more during peak hours. During those times, we'll run your house off of your car. And then in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, we'll fill your car up. You'll wake up, it'll be full, but you'll have only purchased off-peak hours. It'll lower those peak hours expense by 75, 80% some places. And that is called peak hours because that's when you're using the most energy. So that's where we really can equate to this 30, 40, even 50% savings off your utility bill by leveraging the bi-directional capability of an EV charger.
This is a great idea. I never would have thought of that, but it makes a lot of sense because you're essentially using the car as a big battery. It's just like, you know, it's sitting there. You might as well use it.
95% of the time, 95% of the time it's parked.
That is,
use it.
yeah. And now you can power your house with it at the same time.
When you start thinking 40, 50% off your utility bill, I mean, for a lot of people, that's $1,000 or more a year that you're getting out of your car battery right sitting there. Now, India gets above and beyond that. This summer, California ran a virtual power plant pilot program where if you have battery capacity, you could export it back into the grid. And in Texas, it's the ERCOT power system. They're doing a pilot program around virtual power plants this summer. There's been several pilots done around bi-directional EV charging and the value of not only running your house, but exporting excess power into the grid. And they're estimating that will generate anywhere from another $500 to $2,500 a year or more per bi-directional charger. So it's hard to fathom, but you're going to be able to cut your energy bill, let's say 30 to 50%, plus generate another 500 to 2,000 off of your battery by letting the grid use its excess capacity when you don't need it.
And it's going to be all automated, I imagine, right? It's just kind of work in the background.
It's all, that's what Emporia Home Energy Management System is all about, right? We need the hardware so we can perform our operations, but it's really the software that manages this all for the homeowner so they don't have to, right? It's plug it in, we give you recommendations on how you can save energy, and then we enact them. We're the ones adjusting your thermostat. We're the ones turning on and off your EV charger. And we're going to be the ones that are dispatching power in and out of the grid on your behalf. And then the grid will monetize that in the grid and pass the majority of that off to you.
I really love this. This is like, I cover the smart home a lot, talk about the gadgets inside the home, but this is really truly making your home smart and your energy smart and saving money that way. And like you said, contributing it back to the grid. It's all automated. So once you set it up and it kind of understands, your energy usage, it kind of just takes over with one goal in mind. That's to save you energy.
That's right. It's saving you energy. It's saving you money. And it's also, really having a positive impact on the environment, right? Again, by shifting load away from those peak hours are when we're having to run the really inefficient hydrocarbon power plants, right? That have a lot of pollutants coming out of them. So it's also moving power and taking full advantage of renewables. So it's kind of threefold for sure.
Is there any other competition in this space, like the residential, the smaller markets, like you're saying?
Oh yeah, the number one competitor right now is Tesla. Right?
Oh, yeah.
When California ran their virtual power plant pilot, they opened it up to anybody who wanted to apply to participate. And Tesla is the only one that did. And because they're the only ones with the critical mass of the Tesla Powerwall in the marketplace, that it was worth their while. And even this summer with the one in Texas, Tesla has already announced that they're going to participate in that. Now, there may be some others that come in there, but no one else has that critical mass of battery capacity.
Yeah.
And what we're looking with our bi-directional charger and our home battery system is over the next couple of years is really trying to compete with Tesla by working with all of the car manufacturers' batteries to build our virtual power plant.
Why, instead of making the batteries, utilize the batteries that people already have. And I think that's a very, very ingenious strategy there.
And that they've already paid for, and we're going to help them monetize it. And when we can generate, again, several $1,000s a year per car for every homeowner, I mean, that's going to go a long way. I got to tell you a real quick story. The city of Boulder put a bi-directional charger and a Nissan Leaf and installed it on their rec center. the city of Boulder Exeter. And over a 12-month period, they averaged a $270 a month saving just managing their utility rate schedule, not even putting power back into the grid. And I talked to the city managers in charge of the program. He said, the greatest thing was the lease on the Nissan Leaf was only $240.
Wow.
We drove it. He's like, we drove it as a fleet vehicle. He said, it wasn't just parked, it was parked more than usual because it was COVID time, but he said we did use it as a fleet city vehicle, and it still saved them more than the entire cost of the vehicle.
That's amazing. That's
isn't that awesome?
that is so cool. That's a really great I guess case study on the power of saving power and being efficient with it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's been stuff. I mean, Duke Power hooked up school buses and shown $7,000 a year of savings per school bus. And you just think about, what that does to the economics around school bus fleets, right?
Yeah.
We're all needing additional revenue to support those fleets. So there's a lot of good that's going to come out of e-mobility and what it can do for the group. So many people are worried about how we're going to power these electric vehicles.
Yeah.
With bidirectional charging, electric vehicles are going to enable us to power a grid with renewable energy. It's the reverse. It's not going to be a liability to the grid. It's going to be an advantage to have all those batteries hooked to the grid.
That's such a great way of kind of forecasting how the future is going to look like, where you have these batteries and it's a two-way street now,
Right.
coming and going, and it's kind of being automated based upon the needs and like you said, the peak hours.
Yeah, and balancing renewables, right? We know that renewables, the downside, it's not always there when you need it. And with all the battery capacity, we'll be able to store the excess solar in the middle of the day and use it at night, or the excess wind in the middle of the night and use it when you wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Renewables on the grid for sure.
I love it. Sean, I want to thank you for, speaking with me. I did not know about this bidirectional. It's going to take me some time to process how significant that's going to be in the future and how it could work out. So thanks for spending some time. And if people want to get more information about Emporia, what's your website?
Absolutely. It's emporiaenergy.com. And then you can also find our products on Amazon. If you search EV Charger or Home Energy Monitor, you'll see us as one of the top listed products.
Very cool. Thank you. We're going to be running out of time. So just thanks for spending some time with me.
All right, Andy, I appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
Awesome.